All right, this is definitely a little hard for me. I don't really enjoy talking in front of a camera, but I kind of felt the need to just come on here and talk a little bit about my journey with Jesus. As many of you know, I feel like I'm not talking to anyone. I don't have that many followers, but I have a lot of my friends on here, and I think some of you know that I recently, last year, gave my life to Jesus, and maybe some of you don't know what that means. And I'll explain a little bit later what that means, but I just kind of wanted to give just a little short backstory. I grew up Catholic. I got baptized, confirmed, all of it, and I didn't even know who Jesus was, to be completely honest. I grew up in the Catholic Church, but I don't think I got taught the gospel much. And it's not anyone's fault. It's just maybe because I didn't listen. I was fooling around a little bit too much, probably. I don't know. For whatever reason, I just didn't know who Jesus was. You know, I started smoking weed when I was 11 years old and doing idiotic things throughout high school, just living a life that I thought was cool. It led me to absolutely nowhere. I'll never forget, actually, right when I graduated high school, all my friends went to college, and I kind of had this idea that I was going to do music and all this crazy stuff, and God definitely humbled me really quick. I got out of high school and I started working a job that I didn't like, and I was just super bummed all the time, smoking my life away, drinking my life away, doing stupid stuff, talking down on people, gossiping, not being an overall great person. And God really showed up in my life. I didn't really know who Jesus was. I had this vague idea of who the person of Jesus was. 4 years ago, when my brother got saved, shout out Connor if you're watching this, I kind of thought he was a little bit crazy, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't think that Jesus was real. I didn't think that religion was of any value. Honestly, I didn't even know what I was. I was just smoking weed all the time, being an idiot. I don't even know what I was doing. But I had no care in the world for anything, and I was just living however I wanted to live. But as life went on, things start to hit you pretty fast, and as you grow older, you start to think about, what is the purpose to life? Is there any purpose at all? Are we here by accident? Are we here by chance? I think in my previous years, I didn't know what the purpose of my life was, and I was super eager to search that out. And to be honest, I got smacked in the face a little bit. There is this pastor on my Instagram page. His name is Pastor Cliff. And if you've probably seen him on Instagram before. He's a famous pastor that goes around on college campuses. But I remember seeing a clip of him one time, and I'll insert it right here. He says along the lines of,
"Face the despair of your agnosticism. If there is no God, then life is a crapshoot, your birth is an accident, your death is an accident, and guess what, folks? There's only one thing that lies between those two accidents. Another accident, you."
It really made me think. If truly there is no God, and we're just an accidental collocation of atoms being formed together, if we truly are just matter and energy, and there's nothing else, and everything happens by chance, then there is no purpose to life, and there is no life after death. Now, this actually didn't bring me to faith in Jesus, but it kind of woke me up a little bit into thinking, okay, I obviously know that there's something more going on in our universe. I just don't know what that is. So that started to spark my curiosity into finding out who God really is. And time goes on, I'm still drinking, still smoking, and just trying to find my way through life. And everything I felt like I was doing was just pulling me farther and farther away from God. And I didn't know that at the time, but now I know it. I was using weed, using alcohol, using Instagram, using whatever it was to just fill me up for the moment. But it always, no matter what, left me completely empty. And I didn't know why for a really long time. And as time goes on, my brother is planting little seeds of sharing the gospel with me. My aunt is. And honestly, Pastor Cliff on Instagram kept popping up, and I think it was God trying to get to me because I was on my phone all the time. But I started to read Jesus' words, and I started to hear the gospel that God himself steps out of eternity into reality to come show his love for us, to bleed and die on a cross to forgive us for our sins. Now, to me, that kind of felt like almost too good to be true, because if God really stepped out of eternity into reality to come save us, that is the best truth I think I have ever heard in my life. I always tried to be better, I always tried to do the right thing, but I always failed, and I didn't know that there was grace. And that's where Jesus comes in. Jesus offered me that grace to be forgiven and to live in freedom from sin. For so long, I went to whatever it was, whatever vice it was, to escape reality. But until I truly understood why Jesus came into the world to save us from our sin, that's when I was set free. When he came into my life and he changed me from the inside out, he started to help me understand things a little bit more in the sense of I don't have to be in slavery to sin anymore. I don't have to go smoke weed anymore. I don't have to go drink. I don't have to go do these things anymore. I can now live in relationship with him, and he gives me that fulfillment I was always looking for in whatever vice it was. It was a really hard thing. I didn't know how to do it for a long time. I was running away from him for a super long time, but he finally stopped me down in my tracks about a year ago, and I surrendered everything to him. And ever since that day, it felt as if like I got out of the water and like I could breathe again. And I finally started to see things different of like, God really loves us, that he sent Jesus down to die and bleed on a cross to offer us eternal life and forgiveness. And there was a whole thing that led me to understand what that truly meant. My brother got saved by Jesus. I would always ask him, how can you trust Jesus? You've never read the Quran, you've never read the teachings of Buddha, you never read any of these religious teachings. You say that Jesus is God. But in the process of me getting saved, I started to read other religious texts and other philosophical texts, and I would always question, why is this person reliable? Why should I trust this person? Why should I trust this book? And then I got to Jesus. And this one was really profound for me because Jesus, this objective historical person, claims not only to be the Jewish Messiah, but he claims to be God himself. Now that's a very audacious and bold claim. I started to wonder, why should I trust Jesus claiming to be God? And then I started studying the resurrection. I started studying the historical evidence of why the Gospels are reliable, why the 12 disciples lined up to die, not for what they believe in, but for what they've claimed to have seen. Jesus resurrected from the dead. Now, every single world religion is based on a truth claim. Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. The 5 pillars of Islam state that you have to follow these 5 pillars to get into heaven. Buddha teaches something different. He doesn't even really talk about God, but every single one of these religious ideologies make exclusive truth claims. Now, why should I trust them? I came to the realization that the only reason why I could trust Jesus Christ and why he is credible for who he says he is because not only did he live a sinless life, his teachings were amazing, but most importantly, he died and resurrected from the dead. That's when it all clicked for me. His words, his message, everything in my life came together. And I'll never forget it. It was this day where I just understood that Jesus rose from the dead. And it says in the Bible, if you confess with your lips that Jesus is Lord and you believe in your heart that he resurrected from the dead, you will be saved. It's like ever since that moment that I came out of the water and like I understood that God really loves us. It completely rocked my world. I think I deleted my Instagram right away, and I just, for the next 8 months, I just completely like went off grid and studied my Bible. I studied other religious texts too, just to make sure I wasn't making the wrong decision following Jesus. And I can confidently say that my faith in Jesus is backed by cold, hard evidence for the resurrection, and I am firm in my faith, and I believe that Jesus Christ is God. All in all, Jesus absolutely saved my life. I would not be here without him. And this is definitely hard for me to talk about because many of you guys that know me on here just know me from my past life, and I'm a hypocrite at times. I'm a sinner. Jesus saving me has not made me think that I'm a better person, but actually made me recognize how sinful I actually am and how much I need his saving and his grace. If anything, it's made me wake up to the reality of how crazy us humans can be. I just want to encourage you guys all to go and read Jesus' words. Go out and study for yourself other religious texts. Go out and question. All related to Pastor Cliff again, I think he always says, be an honest skeptic. The biggest thing for me is that I was an honest skeptic about certain things, just always questioning why I should trust this, why I should trust that. And I think that led me to finding faith in Jesus. So just encouragement for you guys to go and question the things that you believe. I truly think that it will lead you to truth. And I could be wrong. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I'm just stating, what he's done in my life. I pray for everyone listening that they have, good health, that God watches over you, and that he leads you and guides you to wisdom and truth. And I pray he watches over all of you. If I haven't told you yet and we haven't spoken in a long time, I love you. And feel free to reach out if you have any questions. I know this is kind of a weird setup. I just got this camera, and I don't know. I felt led to post this video. So yeah, much love, everyone. Peace.